Call of Duty Zombies was something special, and to some extent, it still is. This is definitely my most played series of all time, and Black Ops 3 is my most played game of all time. I love this mode, it's one of my gaming passions, and just one of my passions in general. I think what made Zombies so special is just mainly the fact that it exists. In Call of Duty, like the online shooter played by the quote-unquote normies, about tough guys shooting guns and killing the bad guys, there's a mode about fighting zombies with magic guns? And like, it consistently riffs on the historical settings that COD games take place in. How does this exist? And not only is it just a weird and random thing to exist, but this was made purely for the passion of it, and it shows. Zombies was literally invented by some World at War devs during their lunch breaks. Thought it would be fun to make a tower defense game in the game's engine, and it clearly was a lot of fun. So much so that it evolved into this survival mode that got added into the final game as a bonus. You finish the campaign, you unlock zombies. Just imagine how crazy it must have been to finish the campaign for the first time, and then get complete tonal whiplash by seeing this iconic intro. And after that, for the first time ever, we spawn in. World at War is a little rough to play these days because, like I said, it's a passion project, thrown in simply for fun. Nukta and Toten, the first map, this map is a little bare bones. All there is 3 doors to open, some guns to buy on the wall, and a mystery box to give your guns. But these 3 simple things gave birth to Call of Duty Zombies. You start with nothing, you earn points to open up the map, you get stronger, and you survive. This game had a few DLC maps that built on this simple but effective formula. Varuk added perks so the players can buy them to give them upgrades like more health, reloading faster, as well as creating an amazing, intense horror atmosphere. Shino Numa was the first truly expansive map that used an outdoor setting to really make zombies feel much larger. And Doris, the last map, is simply a masterpiece. So many Call of Duty Zombies staples were born on this map. The Pack-a-Punch machine, teleporters, so many little Easter eggs dotted around everywhere. Doris instantly became the blueprint for a perfect Zombies map. Every room had a purpose. There are more doors than any other World at War map, but there is something important behind each and every one. The map is designed in a way that every play session is different. One game you can go this way, one game you can go that way, you can use this gun, you can use that gun, you can train in this room, you can camp in this room. It's perfection. And World at War gave us the first rumblings of the zombie story. Like, there's not loads here, but we meet our main crew of characters and we get some little radios and bits in Doris. It's here, but it's not obtrusive and it stays out the way, and this stays the same all the way up till Black Ops 3. So many people, you know, the casuals who play this mode, don't even notice that it has a story. But boy oh boy, is it wild and is it deep. I'm not even going to try get into it here because explaining the basic plot points of the Zombies storyline is gonna take like 2 hours, but I'll touch it a bit later. At this point, Call of Duty Zombies has already built up the cult classic status that would define it. Something about this mode is just so charming. The perks in multiplayer are just a little symbol you put in your inventory and you get its buff. But in Zombies, the perk is a magical drink from a spooky, mystical vending machine that gives you power by drinking the drink. Cinema. After World at War, it's time to move on to Black Ops 1, and goddamn, this game took everything to the next level. This time, Zombies wasn't made by a small group of devs making zombies for fun, and then a small team making some DLC maps. Zombies had its very own dev team, and it shows. Black Ops 1 Zombies is far more refined than World at War, and its first map, Kino de Toten, is exactly that. Kino as a map is very similar in design to Doris. It doesn't really add anything new, and that's a good thing. It lets this new zombie system shine. This map is a banger, man. You're either a Kino person or a Doris person. I personally think Doris is just a tiny bit better though. And then this game's DLC added new perks, new ways of getting around, new wonder weapons, new crazy gimmicks such as a boss that constantly chases you around the map like Mr. X from Resident Evil. Oh, and that boss is famous Hollywood director George Romero. New story stuff, new crew, one of which is famous Hollywood actor Sarah Michelle Gellar as herself. This series is weird. A map that provides a whole new level of difficulty, and all of that isn't even touching the final map of the bunch. 5. Ascension, Call of the Dead, and Shangri-La were maps that let the team flex their creative muscles. Despite the fact that Doris and Kino de Totem were very early maps, they perfected the zombies survival formula. This means that the Black Ops 1 DLC maps could really be as creative as they want to, as long as they stick to this formula. I love this zombies gameplay loop, and I'm so glad they definitely stuck with it forever. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I hate you. And then finally, we end Black Ops 1 with Moon. Yeah, we've already played as Michael Pissing Rooker and the 35th President of the United States of America, John Fortnite Kennedy, but with this map, Zombie truly gets weird and wild. From a gameplay perspective though, playing as this crew is weird enough. But when I say weird, I mean Moon is a step up. It's far more complicated than anything that came before it. This map has a strange starting room where the usual rules of kill X amount of zombies to progress the round doesn't apply. There's a holdable item in the helmet and the tracker. The main quest of the map has a huge story focus, and there's a really non-conventional boss who chases you around and teleports you around the map. Also, this map has great humour. The delivery of this line always cracks me up.
Lungs feel flat. Pain in pancreas.
It actually blows my mind that this crazy complicated map with crazy complicated lore lives within this casual game, played by the normies and dude bros. I hate using them words, but how else could I get my point across? Call of Duty has a massive casual appeal, yet somehow within Zombies, this nerdy and passionate community was there. It was underground the whole time. It just feels so strange because the very essence of Zombies goes against what Call of Duty is. It's counterculture. But then if Black Ops 1 was good, Black Ops 2 was better. Eventually. Maybe. After all the wacky events that took place on BO1, BO2 looked to start up a new era with a new cast and new ambitious maps. Unfortunately, a lot of these maps tried great things, but with poor execution. The maps are split on Black Ops 2 between what the community calls the Victus maps and the non-Victus maps. For the Victus maps, we have a new crew. You'd never guess the Victus crew. The Victus crew suck. We don't talk about the Victus crew. These maps were incredibly ambitious, but their gimmicks failed to make for a fun experience. Transit was trying to be this open world zombies experience. The map was so big that a bus had to take players around the map. But it was made on the Xbox 360 and the technology at the time just wasn't ready for this sort of zombies map. And because of it, this map is the worst. It was known for being the worst. This is the only one in the golden era of zombies that's actively bad. If you hop on with your friends on this though, you're gonna have a blast. There's a good irony in playing Transit. Die Rise tried to play with some verticality, placing a huge emphasis on travelling up and down the tower the map takes place in. Unfortunately, a map being based around verticality doesn't really work when utilising said verticality sucks balls. And then Buried was the third and final Victus map, and while nowhere near a fan favourite, this one has aged really well. Buried is a solid map, and the Cowboy Town aesthetic rocks. The complicated elements on this map actually work really well, unlike the other two maps. The Victus series of zombie maps introduced a lot of good stuff, to be honest. There's buildables which require you to find parts across the map and then assemble them at specific build spots to give you a powerful item. And when they're executed on these maps, they are a little janky. They're a bit inconvenient. The part locations are spread out too thin and they're a bit awkward, but the idea is great. And that's where Black Ops 2's other maps build on what Victus laid out to perfection. Between Die Rise and Buried, we got Mob of the Dead. Another map with a celebrity cast that changed everything. If Moon was a step up on what came before it, Mob of the Dead was a great leap forward. This was by far the most complicated zombies map we had seen yet. There is a quest for literally everything on this map. Power, Pack-a-Punch, the Wonder Weapon's upgrade, a cool new sub-weapon. But all of it is signposted and you're led towards it. Even casual players can have a good time on this map, but it also rewards the hardcore players that learn the ins and outs and can do everything. Despite changing so much about how zombies works, that basic survival formula is still here, and that's what makes Mob of the Dead flow so well. And then for the final DLC of Black Ops 2, this masterpiece got followed up with Origins. An even bigger, more expansive, and more content-loaded map than Mob of the Dead. This is massive. It has its own steampunk aesthetic, a brand new young version of the original cast, which are the best characters this series has to offer, and 4 unique wonder weapons that all have their own set of quests that are so fun to do. Origins is perfect, and it's the fan favourite map for a reason. But it's not mine though. My favourite's what comes next. Thanks to these 2 maps, and to some extent Buried, Black Ops 2 was a good game in the end. We may have started a bit slowly, but this new genre of crazy complex zombies maps really breathed new life into Black Ops 2. And then the bomb hit. Black Ops 3 is the zombies magnum opus, and Jason Blundell can have my children. Every single original Black Ops 3 map is in that Origins style of quest and content-filled craziness. Shadows of Evil is the GOAT. There's so much to do here, as well as the strongest aesthetic of any zombies map. Horizon Drak is just another perfected version of Origins. Zetsubo no Shima has a phenomenal atmosphere. Gorod Krovi somehow maintains an old school vibe despite having so much content. And Revelations was a grand finale that gave the player so many overpowered tools and just let you go ham on the zombies for one final time. And that's not even touching the amazing system changes Black Ops 3 had. It had new movement mechanics. It had the Gobblegum system that revolutionized how you play and how you plan your games. It gave you some really powerful abilities, but it was unobtrusive and optional. You could avoid it if you wanted a tougher challenge. For the first time ever, you could also add camos and attachments to your weapons, and somehow, even though we had this, the original zombie style is intact. The humour, the charm, that underground feeling, the counterculture is all still very much here. And then on top of that, loads of old maps got remastered, making Black Ops 3 the definitive Call of Duty Zombies experience. This game deserves its whole own video. I could go on for hours about this masterpiece, but I think I've gone on enough. Mob of the Dead and Origins created a formula, and Black Ops 3 served to perfect it. And that is where Zombies ended. They never made anything more, and it never went downhill. That perfect survival formula, starting with nothing and slowly getting stronger, was never changed. Okay, I'm coping. Zombies in this time was special. I want it back. Are we gonna get that back? Are we gonna get it back in Black Ops 6? Maybe, but I'm not optimistic. Because if it doesn't look exactly like the BO3 style, it ain't gonna be perfect. And we already know the game isn't gonna be that. But if it's as good as something like a Cold War was, if it's just okay, that's good enough for me. But what do you think? What's your favourite Zombies map of all time? Be sure to comment down below. And do you think the new era of Zombies is anywhere near as good as it was? Because as much as I enjoyed Cold War, and as much as I'm probably going to enjoy Black Ops 6, I just don't think it holds a candle. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe, because I make, like, the best content on this platform. And with all that out the way, I'll see you in the next one.